Hello everybody, this is John J. Gaming on the mic, coming at you with a special episode here. We got the Northeast Conference Championship game at the JUCO football level, taking place between the Sussex County Miners and the Lackawanna Falcons. Both teams that are considered one of the best JUCO programs in the entire nation, at that JUCO football level. And we got a prospect that we're going to be looking at here today, man. We are looking at Cedric Hill. He's got the green circle under him, man. So, going to be a lot of looks on the defensive side of the football. Just to see how Cedric Hill plays. He comes in as a one-star prospect. And lucky for us as well, he is actually slated to sign with the team as well. He is already a verbal commit to Earlham College. So, he could be a good veteran piece for us moving forward. But for the time being, we'd love to see how he handles today's game as we got a man out in the open and Cedric Hill actually misses to tackle. That's a tough one, as that would have at least limited the damage done by Cody Freeman, who ends up picking up 37 yards on the ground. And so the Miners are in a position to strike, at least get those first points of the ball game here. As we got a 2nd and 10 now coming up here. Looks like Slaughter going to move out into the motion. It's another halfback screen to the right-hand side, but this time we sneak it out as DeMarcus Blunt gets sacked for a loss of 12. Jason Coley going to be the one responsible for getting the sack in that play. So 3rd and 22 now coming up here. We got one job that Cedric Hill has to do. He got to make sure he doesn't get beat deep, but it's another halfback screen, and Cedric Hill able to bring him down out of bounds and force the Miners to, come away without any points. As we'll take a quick look at the Lackawanna offense, but we get put down in a quick hole real quick, trying to set up the wide receiver screen, and it ends very poorly for the offensive attack as Mike Washington throws his first interception for today and also allows the first points of the day as well. And so that's how Sussex County is going to strike first. They're going to be up 7-0 here early on. So hoping our offense can come ahead and respond here, as Washington will throw out to the right hand side, but he throws another interception. Just not some good decisions by Mike Washington here early. Only 3 pass attempts, but has already thrown a couple of interceptions here in the process. And it's putting our defense in a pretty tough spot here overall because, now we got to think, a little bit more turnovers, that kind of stuff. As we find ourselves down 7-0, but we do get them to a 3rd and long coming up here. As now, let's see if we can get going here. As now, Blunt, he's going to try to send it downfield. Cedric Hill cannot get there in time and allows Will Jenkins to strut into the end zone. Touchdown Miners. And Sussex County gonna take an early 14-0 lead on the Lackawanna Community College Falcons, and they have off to a pretty bad start here in this Northeast Conference Championship game here. A special podcast episode for you guys here, obviously. As now we got another 3rd and 6 coming up here. The Falcons do end up getting on the board at the very least. They get it out to Doug Amos on a slant pattern, and it gets it into the end zone. The first points of the day for the Falcons, as Doug Amos was able to win on his route. They were trying to press him, but he was able to beat that press pretty easily. And I was actually pretty surprised they called that a touchdown as well. I thought they would overturn it, but that did not happen though. As we got another, drive, see what Cedric Hill can do to try to recover here. Giving up a long touchdown pass already in this game. Seeing some of the bad of why he was brought down to a 1-star status, even though he was a 71 overall player, going into, his season. As we got a 3rd and 5 now coming up here. Blunt in the shotgun, gonna throw it over the middle to Garcia, who gets it across, looks like the 45-yard line to pick up another first down. As now we have Cedric Hill playing, trying to guard this tight end, see what he can do. He's moving into motion, so we're going to move Cedric Hill into motion as well. As they throw over the middle to Jenkins. We had a little bit of a cushion on him just because we are the safety. Always want to make sure that we never get beat deep. That's a huge thing for us. As now Freeman on the left-hand side, taking it upfield, cuts it back and gets away from a couple of defenders. Cody Freeman able to pick up 15 yards on the ground. It's a first down for the Miners once again, trying to extend it back to a 2-possession game as they throw the out route over to Dustin Gallinger and picks up a few yards in the process. As now we got 2nd and 6 now coming up here. Cedric Hill playing back, trying to get this tackle in and misses Blunt. And he's going to run to the end zone. Touchdown Miners. Cedric Hill had the good instincts there. He knew where DeMarcus Blunt was going. But we just straight up missed him, as my college buddies would say, man. The attention was there. Just not the execution of it. And so another touchdown allowed by this Lackawanna College defense. As we find ourselves down 21-7. As now with it potentially becoming a high-scoring game, the Falcons offense is actually going to go for it here on 4th down and hand it off to the fullback, who does barrel his way through for a gain of 6 yards and gets it moving here once again. Another 1st and 10 now coming up following, the fullback dive to continue to drive. Starting running back actually gets a little shaken up in this game, so Johnny Scott comes in. He usually plays wide receiver, but now will be playing at that running back position for the time being. We'll see how that works out for him, but in the meantime, we actually pitch it out to the edge, finding Pierre Woods in the end zone. Touchdown Falcons. And they will respond after giving up a long touchdown run. So Sussex County now only up 21-14. We got 2 consecutive touchdowns scored. We'll see if they can continue the offensive fireworks that we've been seeing in this ball game. As we got a 2nd and 3 now coming up after a short 7-yard pass completed by DeMarcus Blunt. As we got play action here. 2nd and 3. Hill trying to get himself in a position. And his teammate gets the interception. The first turnover of the day for the Miners. As that's a great elevation by his teammate. And that's going to put our guys in a position, to at least keep it close. We could not, the Falcons offense could not score on that next drive, unfortunately. So it still remains a 1-possession game here. This is potentially the last possession here for the Miners before we go into the locker room at the half. As they throw the out route over to Dustin Gallinger, who picks up another 14 yards. As we'll go into their no huddle, trying to move it quickly downfield. Blunt gets laid out like a just got thrown to a sandwich. Just Larry Porter throws it down. A hard-hitting safety on this Falcons defense, able to get a 3-yard loss in the process. As now 2nd and 13 coming up. Blunt dropping back, going it over the middle to Jordan White. Gets right to the original line of scrimmage, but still a 3rd and long here coming up. Need a big play from this defense to make sure it doesn't become a 2-possession game as they trying to run the halfback screen, but the defense responds. Oh, baby. Let's go, man. 5-yard loss. Okay. I see you. So it still remains 21-14 as Washington tries to get into the end zone to end the first half and does so. Daniel Lundy gets it in for the touchdown. And it's going to tie things up at 21 apiece. And look at the grit and determination by Daniel Lundy, finding through a couple of defenders to get into the end zone in the process. So Lackawanna Community College does a really good job of recovering after, they get down 21-7 originally. And, it puts them in a position. They did receive the ball first to start the second half. They can potentially take the lead here as Lundy breaks a tackle, and he's going to get his 2nd touchdown of the game. Daniel freaking Lundy giving this squad its first lead of the entire ball game. As look at this run by Daniel Lundy. Beautiful job on the option. Breaks the tackle and is able to get it into the end zone. So the Falcons will now have their very first lead of the day, now up 28-21, as now Blunt trying to get his team right back on track. They were starting off really strong that first quarter and a half. But ever since, man, they have been riding that struggle bus a little bit here. As we got 2nd and 8 now coming up, tight end in the motion. As we got a throw over the middle to Gallinger. Was expecting that 4 verticals, I think. But instead, it was an in route, in that slot. So good play by that receiver. As it takes us to 2nd and 10 now. Freeman trying to run it up the gut, but we just plug up all of the holes. Pause. And get a 3rd and long coming up here. Let's get these guys off the field. Specifically, let's see Cedric Hill make a play as well, man. Trying to see what he can do here. As now we're on Gallinger once again. Trying to take the out route away. We do. And our defense is able to get in there for another sack. This time, Dion Davis with his 2nd sack of this ball game. So it looks like they were trying to set up the screen because they had a free run this quarterback. We just went ahead and took that away real quick. So we got to still have another chance here. Mike Washington company back on the field. This offense is on fire. As Washington will drop back, get out to the right-hand side. Chucks it downfield. He's got a man. And it's Pierre Woods with a 56-yard bomb. And just unleash that thing deep downfield. So now Lake Alana with a 35-21 lead. And now our defense can really go ahead now and try to play comfortable, on defense. Can be a little bit more aggressive, can, focus more on fundamentals. Because we no longer have to worry about creating turnovers in order to give our team's best opportunity to win this football game. Thought it was going to be one of those games, at least when this game first started, that our defense was going to have to claw its way back in it. But instead, we got 3rd and 5 now, trying to force another free and out here. Tight end going to go into the motion. 3rd and 5. It's a quick throw to Garcia. But we were on it like cheese on macaroni. And we get the ball back here once again. But with a 3rd and long, though, as Scott actually tries to get his footing back, but trips over himself, unfortunately. But this team is going for another 4th down here. That's crazy. Figured they would go and try to kick the field goal, make it 38-21. But Washington in some trouble, though. Pulls some Patrick Mahomes and finds Johnny Scott downfield for a gain of 16. So we get some downs to work with here once again, but facing another 3rd and long, as Gray does get tackled, well before the 1st down marker. We do go ahead and settle for or we probably will settle for a field goal here, but as we finished a lot better here in this 3rd quarter. We're now up 35-21. Things are getting extremely exciting here in this conference championship game. Who's going to want it more? Can Lake Alana finally get over the hump and defeat Sunset County? They have had their number, the past few years leading up to this moment. And they're up 17 here in the 4th quarter. As Blunt, he's going to go ahead and scramble upfield and gets tackled. Cedric Hill assisting on the tackle, but not before picking up a gain of 13 yards. As now, 1st and 10 now coming up here. We got Blunt dropping back to pass. He's looking. Gonna get a dot over to Garcia. As Ben Garcia gets him inside the 30 thanks to that pass. That was Cedric Hill's zone, man. We gotta be a little bit better than that. As Hill dropping back again. But he gets the interception. That's Cedric Hill's first pick of the day. And he did a great job reading it and reacting as such. Taking that out route away at the very last second. And it sets up, the lead to only grow for Lake Alana as Johnny Scott, he's down the sideline and it's going to get in the end zone again. This time a 39-yard touchdown run for Johnny Scott. And the lead grows lighter. Now up by a score of 45-21 right now. That's crazy. So things looking good for Lake Alana Community College at this point. They got a 24-point lead and looking to grow even more. As now Blunt trying to get his team back on track here. 1st and 10. Throwing over the middle, looking for Dustin Gallinger. who gets the tackle, or gets the catch, but Cedric Hill does make the tackle as well. As we got another 2nd and 1 now coming up here. Blount trying to scramble again, but we just plug up. There's no room for this quarterback to escape. We are just not letting it happen. The blitz really influencing that play right there. So another 3rd down coming up here, and this time Cedric Hill being asked to blitz. He hasn't done any of that today, but it works with some success as we shoot the gap easily. Playing that numbers games, they did not have any blockers available, as it looks like the halfback was trying to block on the right-hand side, but it didn't matter though. We got in there real quick and real easy like. And then, you know, that's going to set up Lake Alana Community College up for an opportunity. Go ahead and run out the rest of his clock if they choose to do so. But Johnny Scott has other plans as he dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons. Look at this dive that Johnny Scott does right here, man. Look at this right here. Johnny freaking Scott, man. Able to dive in there and gets into the end zone. And so we're up by 30+ points at this, juncture of the game. And we're just looking to see, what this team can do, in this last minute or so. This is definitely garbage time, but I would be really nice to see if Cedric Hill can get himself a 2nd interception, before it's all said and done. If it's in the cards, of course. But we'll just have to wait and see. As Dustin Gallagher picks up another 25 yards. Trying to move it downfield. Of course, the Miners are going to go into their no-huddle attack, but they're running a halfback draw. Down by 30 points. And they have to use another timeout here. So they only have one more timeout remaining. I love that they're trying to compete, but look at this. We got a fumble on the play as well. Dustin Gallagher, actually had to go ahead and recover it. Our linebacker able to force that fumble. And so 3rd and 15 coming up here. And Cedric Hill now looking for interception number 2, but won't be happening this time. But will end up getting another TFL at the very least, as he sniffed that halfback screen out with absolute ease. And look at the stat line for Cedric Hill. 7 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a interception. A great performance, as we're going to be able to go ahead and run the best formation in football. Able to get that dub, as Lake Alana Community College going to win that Northeast Conference Championship. You'll love to see it, man. So it was a great conference championship game for Lake Alana Community College, kicking out Sussex County in what was a huge game for them. Able to come home and take the JUCO Conference Championship game. You absolutely love to see it. As for Cedric Hill, who did end up, he did some serious work here today. 7 total tackles on the day, 2 TFLs, a sack, interception. He did it all, it seems like, and got the job done. He's going to be at least a contributor right away on our football team, and that's something that I'm deeply interested to see how Cedric Hill translates his game to the Division I level. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited for it. Can't wait to see what happens with him. So we get ourselves back to the recruiting screen after that great, conference championship game that we witnessed at the collegiate level. Cedric Hill, man, he's going to be himself a guy, man. The Indiana product, Columbus, Indiana guy. Got his commitment somewhat early in the season, but he's going to be a big help to us later on, man. I'll tell you what. But as of right now, our recruiting class looks mostly set in stone. We are going after one more tackle, Dwayne Armstrong, the Sulphur Springs product. We're in a recruiting battle for this man. We are fighting between us and Mount St. Joseph in order to bring this guy in. Now, I don't have more people on our board because, remember, with our house rules, like I said before, we can only go after people in our pipeline states, and we can also only go after people, that are actually interested in us. But, if we sign all the people on our board that, that are initially interested in us, we will go outside those pipeline states in order to get more recruits. But that hasn't happened yet. It won't happen at least this season. So, Dwayne Armstrong, it looks like to be a recruiting battle that we will be taking into the off season. He's a decent pass blocker. Run block needs a little work, but could be someone that could contribute to our offensive line right away. As for the squad, man, we did end up finishing 7-5 here in the regular season, but it turns out we might have a handful of Earlham athletes that are finalists for a couple of awards. So let's go ahead and check it out. So starting with the Bednarik Award, our true sophomore safety Justin Burden has put himself in a position, be a finalist, which is a great honor. The true sophomore from El Centro, California. He was part of that season 1 recruiting class that we brought in. He definitely has been a rock for us, since he came to Earlham, man. Similar amount of tackles, but more TFLs, more sacks, same amount of interceptions, and could add on to that as well, depending on if we get an opportunity, to go ahead and go to a bowl game. Also has a fumble recovering as well, which is really cool to see. So Justin Burden is, fighting for the opportunity to get the Bednarik Award. That would be really awesome to see. But look who is sitting on top of the Jim Thorpe Award list. Justin Burden. And he's leading a ton of juniors and seniors. You want to talk about some guys, the best corners in the country. Justin Burden, he plays above his overall, man. He's only a 75 overall. But I would imagine, after next season, he'll get a nice little boost, to his attributes if he does come down, win some awards, and then gets named to, like, I don't know, maybe an All-American list, a preseason All-American list in Season 4. Just have to wait and see, but congratulations to Justin Burden. He's been a rock in our defense, showing himself as a young leader. As for our postseason hopes and dreams, though, looks like we might be going to the GoDaddy.com Bowl when it's all said and done. It'd be a matchup between us and Georgia State. And Georgia State has had a really nice season, don't get me wrong. They're 8-3 right now, 6-1 in Sun Belt Conference play, but they still have one more team left to play. They got to play against Troy. We've been doing really well. We have won 7 of our last 9 games. So, this is a team that has done really well. I'm really proud of the squad, and just to be in an opportunity to go ahead and go to our bowl game in just our 3rd season at FBS play. That is something that I am extremely proud about. They have fought for this moment, and they might just be able, to make it happen. So then, without any further ado, let's just go ahead now and go through the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, since we didn't win our game, we won't be going to a conference championship, but it does seem like we're in a pretty decent position to go to a bowl game. Alright guys, so that being said, we just went ahead and simulate the conference championship game. We are now going to go ahead and move forward with bowl week. And we're going to find out, man, which bowl game we're going to go to. Hopefully, we do get the opportunity to go to a bowl week, because if you followed my channel, in my St. Thomas dynasty, I went 7-5 one season, and we actually didn't get a bowl invitation anywhere. So I'm hoping nothing like that happens, with this Earlham squad, because, they definitely have fought for it. Yes, we don't have any non-conference wins, but, we were at least close in 2 of our 3 games. Should have won 2 of those 3 games, to be honest with you. We just either blew leads or, just made mistakes, in a crucial way. But, yeah, man, I'll come back to you guys when I find out, where we're going to go. So we find out, the Heisman Trophy winner here in season number 3, going to Charles Howard from the Air Force Academy. He was a beast at running back. He had over 350 carries, 2,500 yards, and 31 touchdowns. That is absolutely ridiculous. And we do indeed get an invitation. We are going to the GoDaddy.com Bowl, baby. Earlham is going bowling in just 3 seasons at the FBS level. Let's get it, man. I'm so excited. We get to go and play against Georgia State, and on top of it, we find out that Justin Burden will be awarded the Jim Thorpe Award. Congratulations to him. Best, best defensive back in America. That's what that award is for, and he certainly got it. I am so proud of that kid. So next episode, we are actually going to go ahead and have our bowl game against Georgia State going down to Mobile, Alabama to play in the GoDaddy.com Bowl. Should be a good one, so make sure you smash that like button as well as hit subscribe. If you do happen to be brand new, I'm excited for this bowl game, man, personally. Until then, I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you're all out there having a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.